you have to look into the space and see what is currently used. What is the current paradigm? What are people doing? And does this, either new technology or existing technology, does this have the potential to disrupt the space or provide something new, right? That's a great place to start, and talking to physicians to say, hey, this is my idea. How does this sound to you? I think it's a great place to start.
And I can touch on that a little bit, where you want to assess the market size and the market need. So if you have a small new technology that can only serve like a small portion of the population, the reality is it's not going to be as profitable, so it'd be important to kind of expand on that. So an example would be a group of 3 kind of PhD researchers from Yale came to me. In fact, the founder had sickle cell disease, and he came up with a kind of a blood imaging technology where it would kind of identify when he needed to get a transfusion. And he was really hoping to scale that, but unfortunately with only 100,000 people in the US having sickle cell, it really was not something that was going to be marketable that investors would want to invest in. So, the advice was, expand to other, leukemia and anemia and other forms, even though it required a lot more work on his end. You have to create new algorithms, retrain the whole software. It would be worth it because you could access a better, bigger market.
Justin and Kwame, would you like to comment a little bit on that specific niche issue that probably comes up in your world as well?
So I'm excited to talk about it. We invested in a sickle cell diagnostic. But why? And I'm not trying to start a fight.
No, it's
So this is why.
way.
This is why we invested. The first indication that they were going to use was sickle cell. The second was cardiovascular. So they had a roadmap to reach a larger market. And during their journey, this is really fun. They had as a main customer a publicly traded drug company called Global Blood Therapeutics. Global Blood Therapeutics got acquired by Pfizer. So they went from a $1 million contract with Global Blood Therapeutics to a $7 million contract with Pfizer. This is the dream, right? This is what investors want to see. But if they just said, we want to study sickle cell in North America, it probably would not have been a lucrative venture scale type of opportunity. But because, oh, and by the way, now they have a test facility in Nigeria. So sickle cell is very prominent in Africa. So this story played out in a wonderful way for a VC. But if it was just sickle cell in North America, we probably would not have invested in that.
And I would just add that, like, starting, oh yeah, do you have an add?
I have a question, because that brings up, what territories are people going to cover with their patents? Because, how important would that have, or was that to you in that decision? Because I feel like startups have no resources, so what do they do?
Which one do you want to answer?
Yeah, I worked with a sickle cell therapeutic. They did a full IPO, and it failed phase 2, unfortunately, and their stock turned to next to nothing. But it was, it's the only time I've ever filed a patent in UAE. The ARIPO, which is a collection of a lot of African countries. I remember having to send a notice to whether or not we wanted to register rights in Eswatini. It's the new name for Swaziland. Eswatini. Eswatini. Yes. It was also on Global not that long ago, and I almost got it. But that's something I remember their first nationalization was something like $100K. And that's really the cost of doing business for kind of posturing them to get acquired by a Pfizer. If they want to be in that position, they need to be able to enforce those rights in those countries that this disease is prevalent.